Grace and peace, beautiful people. Grace and peace. I hope all is well. To the mothers, just yesterday, it was the holiday. Happy belated Mother's Day to all of you. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. If you've already subscribed, hey, you already know that I love and appreciate. I love people that think, let me say it like this. I know that there's a multitude that's watching on all my different platforms, but some people will never, like or subscribe or whatever the situation is, but that's still cool with me because I know that I'm doing my part. Today is going to be a different type of message. And within that message, within this season, my question that I have for you today is, has your soul tie created you into an NPC? What is an NPC? A non-character player. This is something that you've probably never heard of, and chances are, the way I look at it, this world gives us so much information. And sometimes, that information get tucked away, just like they say, if you want to put information out there, put it inside a book, because a multitude of individuals still don't read in this particular season. But I'm sure that you've heard about soul ties, or if you haven't heard about soul ties, they got a lot of different information that I want to drop, but I want to see where do I need to start doing different videos on behalf of what what you like to hear about, because if you are a grandmother that is listening to this particular video, my question to you is, I'm going to say it a different couple of ways because I want you to fully understand what I'm saying. There's a common slogan that I always say, and that's, the devil doesn't have to touch certain families because he knows that the older generation is always going to talk the next generation out of the promise. Now, what do I mean by that? If you are a grandmother or a grandfather that's watching this particular clip, my question to you is, did your parents teach you about soul ties? Did you teach your children about soul ties? Now, if you think about it, generation after generation after generation are not being taught on certain situations that they're going to see within this movie. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes towards the NPC side. You know what I'm saying? Think of the NPC side. You're probably trying to figure out what is that non-player character. All of us have been to a parade. Is it a parade? Let's say a parade. You've been to a parade before, and there's rides at that particular parade. Okay. Some of my people from back in Louisiana, they know about the Crawfish Festival. They got all kind of different festivals and stuff like that where they'll have rides for the kids. So within this NPC, you ever thought about the carousel? You know that the carousel is always going over and over and over again, nice and not going around in a circle over and over and over again. Now, let's say you got to the carousel and you and your family, or you and your grandkids or your children got onto the carousel and you was watching your kids go around the particular carousel over and over and over again. And what you've never thought about is, although there's so many different horses on the carousel, what about the horses that doesn't get anybody on those particular horses while the carousel is going around? So think about it. That NPC, the non-player character, are individuals that are just experiencing this life, but at the same time, that's all they're really here to do. A non-player character. So back, like I mentioned, has your soul tie created you into an NPC? Now, there's a couple of different things for you to figure out to find out if you are living the life of an NPC. Every one of your days seems like it's the same. You basically wake up in the morning, you check your phone, you shower up, you get ready for work, you eat, you go to work. Once you get to work, you're being soul sucked while you're there. Once your time is up, you get home, you turn the TV on, you eat, and then you're prepared to do the same thing again tomorrow. Within that concept, most of your conversations are usually about the weather, gossip, or complaining. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. All of your conversation, or most of your conversations, are about those particular items. You hate your job. You can't seem to have fun by yourself. Think about this. Is your favorite day of the week Friday? To the point to where once Friday gets here, your holiday is here, and the weekend passed by so fast that you had forgot that it was even there. And then you dread Mondays. But in the midst of that, you can't go nowhere by yourself. Here it is Friday. You don't even think about going anywhere by yourself because you want other people to come with you, when in the midst of all of that, you really just going around on the carousel. You want people to come with you. You know what I'm saying? You want people to say, yeah, cool. Yeah, let me go ahead. Yeah, we can go check this out and this and that. You're just going on the carousel every particular weekend. It's always the same thing. I'm outside. We outside. XYZ. Is that considered as living? Because during the week, you only existing. Just like those particular horses that's going around the carousel with nobody riding them. Even when it comes towards just going to work, you take the same path to go to work every day. When you go to the grocery store, same thing. You take that same path every day. A mindless walk is what that's considered as. And the interesting thing about it is, it's like you don't even probably remember, as you're thinking about this, you probably don't even remember when you started this particular mindless walk. You know what I'm saying? How long have you been experiencing this particular life? But in this life, if you think about it, let's go back to soul ties. In soul ties, some of you probably heard me say soul tie. Oh, that's when you're having sex with people. No, that's not just it. That's all some people think. But when you think about the soul tie is all about understanding that this is people that's involved, but you don't have to have sex with those people. These are just individual characters within your story that you just can't see yourself living without. Just like yesterday was Mother's Day. Today is the 15th. On the 18th will be 22 years for me that I lost my mother transition. My mother transitioned a week before I graduated high school. So I took the time yesterday to go ahead and call some of my close cousins or family members or friends or whatever that I know that took that loss within the last year or two or since the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Just to check in, because one thing about it, them phone calls stopped coming in. You heard, man? So has your soul tie, because you got to think, our parents are our soul ties too. You know what I'm saying? Our children are our soul ties. Our best friends are our soul ties. Anybody that you really, really, really care about is a soul tie. That's how I look at it, because you can't just put it in one category. You got to give the overall aspect. Just like there's some people that have soul ties with individuals that they're not even with anymore, but at the same time, until their soul tie is broken, then they won't even experience love within the relationship that they're actually in. Like, for instance, there's individuals who are married in this day and era. But strategically, one of those two individuals has a soul tie with someone that is outside of that particular marriage. Now, it's not saying that, some go question somebody, if you've been cheating, hey, it is what it is. What it is you're not understanding that you're still connected to that particular individual through that soul tie. Just like, for instance, when my mom passed 22 years ago, I'm an only child, so that was one of my soul ties. I was always thinking year after year after year, every year, this holiday come up for Mother's Day, as well as when her birthday comes along. But in the midst of understanding or not understanding at the beginning, I now have that understanding that life continues to go. Because at the end of the day, we're all on a timeline. Now, depending on the choice that you made before you came into this world, on behalf of the way that you decided that you was going to go, you heard, man? That's how it ended up happening. But until you get that particular relationship with God, because watch this, in the beginning, just like myself, because I can't just say y'all, is myself included. Every time something would happen within our lives, the characters in our story would just tell us, baby, just pray about it. Well, guess what? If you was one of those babies, if you ever heard that particular term, what's going to happen is through your life, you're only going to pray, but not go ahead and create or build that relationship with the Father. So think about it like this. There's a slogan that goes something like this. The grass is only greener where you water it. So think about this. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so a lot of CME members was at the church on yesterday. Now, the beautiful thing about it is, and how I'm going to use that as a prop, there's individuals that only go to get the feel of the Father when it comes towards going to a gathering of people. But whenever they're away from the Father or away from the gathering of people, they don't seek God's face for himself. Just like, for instance, if somebody was to ask you, how do you feel about a long distance relationship? Chances are you would say, I tried that before, but that's not really my thing. Have you ever said something like that? So think about it. How do you feel about a long distance relationship? Nah, that's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? I like to be able to see my man. Have you ever said something like that? Now, my last portion of it is, that's the relationship we're supposed to have with the Father. So if you don't feel comfortable in a long distance relationship down here, then for sure you're not going to have a relationship with the Father, because if you think about it, some of us or some people out there, they never left where they grew up from. So chances are every new individual that comes to that area is now a high commodity individual, because nobody in the area already had that particular individual, which is why there's a multitude that come and then they create in those particular areas by cousins, if you understand where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. If you believe after all your years, now if you're already married, hey, if you're happy, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think about, where is your happiness? Because when you got married, you was all excited that day, and then the marriage started, and at some point you're not going to be happy the whole time. You just know that we made it this amount of time. You heard, man? But understand, we made it this amount of time. If there's ever a separation in that, the journey's still supposed to continue. That's just like, for instance, when one of these main characters leave your story, do you have, that's another video that I was going to create, but I might as well say it now, but I may go ahead and still make the video. Do you have 1,000 days to waste? I'm gonna just leave it at that. That way I can still make that particular video, because that was a game changer. I wanted to put it out yesterday, but I was busy on behalf of yesterday, and I'm gonna go ahead and make that video again today. Think about it. Do you have 1,000 days to wait? And just leave it at that. But get back to the moral of the story. Has your soul tie turned you into an NPC? This may be the first time you hear about this NPC situation, but there's a multitude of individuals who are walking around as an NPC, a non-player character, outside of that carousel. Think about it. I know we got a lot of travel agents that's out there. When you get to the airports, you know what I'm saying, you either boarding the plane or you getting off the plane. Let's say you getting off, you just arriving somewhere and you getting off the plane, and now you're in the airport. You got a multitude of people all the way around. Well, think about it. That's a portion of your movie. And in that movie, you always got to have those extras. Now, in those extras, it's a chance that in those extras are, people that you'll finally decide to give a part to speak in your particular act or in your particular scene or whatever the situation is. Listen, there's so much people, so many people, and so many different ways to think about this particular life. But are you basically what I gave like 5 of them. Every day seems the same. Most of your conversations is about just the weather, gossip, or complaining. You hate your job. You can't go out and have fun by yourself. And then you're taking the same path to every day. In the midst of that, did your soul tie create you into this player? You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of different other situations, but like I said, I want to see what you're feeling. So go ahead and put it in the chat if you know what I'm saying, this resonate with your spirit or something like that. You heard, man? That way I can know, man, yeah, they need some of this. So let me go into deeper detail on behalf of either one of these particular matters. But anyway, hey, I love y'all, man. Y'all be safe and understand that there's much more to this dream than what you're thinking. God bless.